Hi folks, it's Sarah here and welcome to Life After Lockdown, where I'm just going to go through how I'm gradually getting myself ready for getting back into the office, getting back to work, and life's just going to start getting much more busy. I mean, I've actually really enjoyed this lockdown, it being much quieter, much more relaxed pace. Even before lockdown, I actually had stopped my training probably about 4 weeks before lockdown because, after 8 years of just pushing it, my body was starting to get niggly injuries again, and I've been injury free for over 8 years. So the fact that I was starting to get injuries was really indicative of the fact that I probably did need a decent amount of time off. So I'd actually kind of stopped my training before lockdown, and really with lockdown taking full advantage of doing as little as possible. So now that things are starting to pick up and restrictions will be lifted today to some level, now I need to start getting myself back into the normal swing of things. So I'm just going to go through what I'm changing with my diet and training. So before I go into what I'm actually doing myself, I just wanted to dig into a couple of the structures that I use on a day-to-day basis, whether I'm on comp prep or not. There's a number of structures that I actually initially developed myself when I lost 25 kilos without dieting. And it was only about 6 or 7 years later that I discovered this group called Precision Nutrition. And when I started following their teachings, it became very apparent very quickly that they use the same structures that I figured out for myself. So instantly I signed up and became certified as a coach. So that's what I want to go through here, is a couple of the structures that I teach to do with constructing healthy meals. Now, the first concept that we'll go into is the concept of an anytime meal. So this is a meal that you have that's not related to a workout. And when I say that, it's specifically not directly after a workout. This ties into the principle that carbs need to be earned. The vast majority of us eat too many carbs. We just don't need the amount of carbs that we do eat. And government recommendations tend to overemphasize the amount of carbs that you should be eating, and it's actually not necessary. And where most government guidelines go wrong is the fact that they don't emphasize enough sort of fruit, vegetables, and protein. And that's what this concept of an anytime meal corrects. So you can see here, I've got this graphic here of a plate. So when you're creating a meal that's not directly after a workout, the things you should focus on are your protein, your fats, and your veggies. And as far as possible, no carbs. Another concept that they dig into that I follow sort of pretty much routinely is eating the rainbow. The wider the variety of foods that you have, the better your nutrition is going to be, the healthier it is for you. A lot of highly processed foods are really bland, they're sort of beige or white in colour. And the lack of colour actually indicates a lack of nutrition. I mean, take white rice, for example. There's virtually no nutrition in that at all, apart from the carbohydrates. Whereas a nice, bright, vivid red bell pepper capsicum, or a nice, bright orange carrot or pumpkin, there's an awful lot of nutrition in there. The purple berries, the purple fruits and vegetables particularly, and very, very high nutrition. So a good habit to get into is eating the rainbow. And then the third concept I want to dig into is the post-workout meal. Now, if you've actually done an intense workout, and it does specify an intense workout here, so you actually need to kind of raise your heart rate and raise a bit of a sweat, that is the time when it is ideal to include starchy carbohydrates, and as you can see here, such as potatoes and pasta, rice or bread. Okay, and again, make sure that you're focusing very significantly on the protein and vegetables and fruit. Now, another concept that Precision Nutrition teaches, particularly if your meal doesn't fit onto a plate or those kind of divisions on a plate, is the hand size portion guide. And because your hand is proportionate to your body, then the amount of food, if you portion out your food according to the size of your hand, then it's going to be proportional to you, and therefore it's going to be the correct amount of food for you. And this is how you can construct meals very, very quickly without having to weigh or measure or count calories. So as you can see here, a serving of protein is 1 palm, a serving of vegetables is a fist, a serving of carbs is 1 cupped hand, and a serving of fats is a thumb. And generally for women, the base guidelines would be 1 of each per meal and 4 meals a day. The base guidelines for guys would be 2 of each per meal and again 4 meals per day. So this is another way that you can create meals very, very quickly without having to weigh or measure or count calories. Okay, that being said, let's take a look at where I am right now. So my go-to breakfast has been an egg white omelette with 1 egg, olives, ham and mushrooms on 2 slices of bread with butter. Then I've been having this gluten-free muesli with my coconut oil, milk and a scoop of protein powder. So that's a lot of food and it's very high calorie, but what usually I eat about 6 meals a day, but what I've been eating is 3 meals a day. So that's a lot of food, but it does keep me going through to lunchtime. But without the training, carbs really need to be earned, and without training, I don't need that level of carbs. So what I'll be doing as of today, this is the last bowl of muesli that I've got. The other thing, I don't usually eat mueslis because they're very high calorie for not very much food. And I don't know about you, but when I see like a little tiny bit of food in the bottom of a bowl, I go, well, where's the rest of it? I'm human like everybody else, so we always tend to overestimate our portion sizes, which can lead to an awful lot of excess calories unintentionally. So I'm going to be cutting out the muesli as of today. And then what I will be bringing in, I haven't been having so much avocado and salad with my breakfast, so I'll start having more of that. So I'm going to switch my food from sort of carbs much more to the high protein and vegetable based, okay, which will lower the calorie levels straight away, increase the amount of food I'm eating, and it will also keep me full all the way through to lunchtime. So lower the carbs, increase the protein and fat, and particularly the vegetable content, which will actually increase the nutritional value. It will increase your fullness, but it will decrease your calories. So that's one very simple substitution you can make that will start to reduce those excess lockdown calories.